Today on Kind of But Not Really Solved Mysteries.
Just kidding. Join me while I redraw art from kindergarten. Welcome beautiful people. And unattractive people too. My name is April Oakeyard, and today I'm going to be doing the second part of my redraw of the saber-toothed tiger and kittens that I did over 30 years ago. This time, it's the kittens' turn. So, let's get into it. And stay tuned until the end for some pictures of my mother. As I'm sure you've gathered from the title, this is a draw and discuss about Mother's Day and memories about my mother, not a tutorial. For those who don't know, I lost my mother to cancer about 5 years ago. But, this video will be one about the happy times, not the sad times. My mother was a boomer, but she doesn't fall into the stereotype of boomer parents who were garbage and treated their children like props or status symbols. She was genuinely a good mother to us. Sure, my sister and I were somewhat sheltered, but I'm very thankful for her protective nature. She was difficult and hard-headed at times, but she always reminded me and my sister of how special we were to her. My mom decorated for every holiday and went all out for our birthdays and other celebrations. We always had special birthday parties, even when it was just our little family unit that consisted of me, my sister, our mother, and her parents. Sometimes my father as well. I think the fact that my mother kept so much of my childhood artwork, like this picture, also speaks to how caring of a mother she was. She definitely passed her sentimentality down to me because I also hold onto a lot of my kids' art projects and schoolwork. I look at people who throw all of their kids' art away like, WTF heifer? Anyway, one of the most special memories to me was when she let me pick out my sister's middle name. I don't know if my sister is watching this or if she already knows this story, but I chose for her to have the same middle name as me. I don't know many mothers who allowed their eldest child to pick a name for their younger sibling. As a side note, I wanted to also have my eldest child help pick out my youngest child's name, but he wanted to name the baby girl Herbert. Absolutely not. But this video isn't about me, so that might be a story for another day. Back to my mother. She never missed a school event and also participated in elementary school field trips and class parties. She was a stay-at-home mom, so she did have the leisure that many working moms do not have. But, the point is that even a lot of stay-at-home mothers aren't that invested in their children's school parties or events. She also made clothes and costumes for me when I was in elementary school. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to. There was one year that she made a lobster costume for me for Halloween. I was probably 6 or 7 when that happened. It was an immense labor of love that I was happy about at the time, but that I didn't fully appreciate until I was much older and had children of my own. There were also a few times that I went to 1950s-style sock hop parties when I was in elementary school, for which I was to wear a poodle skirt. She went above and beyond for me when I wanted a kitten skirt, not a poodle skirt. At the time, there was no such costume available anywhere, so she got the materials to make the skirt and patterns for kitten shapes to cut out and put on the skirt. 100% everything she did for me was more than I deserved. That's not to say I was a bad kid, she raised me much better than that, but I just didn't fully understand and appreciate her love until I was older, and to some extent, I didn't realize some of it until she was no longer here. She also really supported my fashion and friend choices when I was younger. I had some friends who weren't allowed to shop at or own anything from Hot Topic. My mother actually liked taking me to Hot Topic to go school shopping and pick out accessories. My mom also liked most of my friends, even ones who didn't deserve to be part of my life in retrospect. Another of my favorite memories is watching movies with her all the time. There was a video rental store near us that had a deal where you could rent 5 movies for 5 days for $5. She almost always fell asleep during the movies. I didn't realize until later in life how exhausting being an adult really is, so I completely get it now. But on weekends when I wasn't going out anywhere, my mom, my sister, and I would sit in her room and watch one of 2 movies together. I took it for granted at the time, but that point in my life was probably one of the best. Another favorite memory was when I had my first job at a movie theater when I was 16. On Saturday nights, when I'd usually be working until about midnight, she'd pick me up from work and cook a frozen pizza when we'd get back home. My favorite was the California Pizza Kitchen's Thai chicken pizza. That might be aging me a lot because I don't think they've sold that pizza in stores for several years now. As I've mentioned, I have kids. My mom was an amazing grandmother for them. She was called Mimi by my kids. I was relatively young when I had my son. My mother was furious, which is understandable of course. But she soon warmed up to my pregnancy and adored my son. She would watch him while I worked, and she took such good care of him. When I was going to have my daughter, I lived over 4 hours away. She still drove up with my sister to be there for my baby girl's birth. When my mother was alive, she'd always asked for us to keep her urn on the mantle and decorate her for the holidays. My sister and I split my mother's ashes so we could both keep that promise to her. The cancer that my mother had was one that was possibly preventable, but definitely curable if caught early. At first, I was so mad at her for not taking care of herself and getting treatment sooner, but I've realized how much she put others before herself. As a result, she didn't take much time for herself. Now that she is gone, I don't celebrate much for Mother's Day. We used to do a really nice gift exchange and special meal. I don't have anyone living close enough to me to do that with, so I just don't see the point. If you've made it this far, why not like the video and tell me about your mother in the comments? If you subscribe, it also helps us immensely. We're now at the end of the video and here is the finished product. I'm as quiet as a kitten. So, here is the before, drawn when I was in kindergarten. And here is the after, drawn in 2025. Thank you for joining me today. Here are all of the places you can find me. And happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. Enjoy some pictures of mine.